Come on. Come on, up, up, up. Let's go. There we go. All right, here we go. Oh, they're doing really well. Doing really well. Oh, beautiful. Good move, guys. That's a wrap. Hey, good morning. Welcome back to Ohrmundt Simmentals. All right, it is Saturday morning. Got another half-inch of rain last night. And it also looks like I'm gonna have to check our fence, but there must be some down line in our temp wire because we're getting a little bit of movement over there. Might take a little jaunt out there and see what's going on. But this morning we want to let these few pairs out, so that's definitely going to be high on the list. Actually, probably the first thing I'll do since we have our little situation. And again, it's not major. Those cows aren't going anywhere. I just want to check this out first. Yeah, let's check this quick. Yeah, right now there's only like 1,000 on there at the end of the line, and there was 5 yesterday. All right, so even after fixing that temp issue, I still only have like 2,000 on the line. That's not enough. So I think we're gonna put the old one back on and see what we get. All right, so we got that hooked up decent, the Power Wizard. So our live wire to the fence was short, so I kind of had to cobble something together until I can get to the shop and get a good crimp and kind of extend it. But then I was getting a spark, so we kind of cobbled it together a little bit. Don't touch that bolt. But I got it hung in there decent, and then that little guy, that little red plastic thing had blown off or got knocked off. I think it got knocked off. It was really just glued in there anyways. The only glue I had was some PVC cement. So, I mean, that should hold. It just needs to sit there. It's not like it does anything. But let's check this out. I have no doubts that it's working. I just want to see what the difference is. Now, with the Parmac, we had 2,000 on the line. We'll see what the Power Wizard has. The Power Wizard essentially is the Ken Cove. I don't know if Ken Cove buys Power Wizard, vice versa, but essentially the same fencer. I don't know if you guys can see that, but 3,000. That is on the end of the line, and honestly, over here, I'm probably getting a lot of ground out right there because I think that bottom line is juiced. So now you got wet grass on it. I think I'll probably take the Parmac back, possibly. Only because it's true, probably should have a little bit bigger backup, maybe an 8 joule backup. I don't know. Yeah, we got this kind of rigged up. It's fine for now. It'll work. Let's let these pairs out. I've got this temp wire put back up. These cows they're kind of enjoying their grass. We just got to get these guys want out there. They want in here. Got you guys. There we go. Come on, guys. Up, up. Hi, Photo. I'm not too worried about these guys, so it's just the 3 pairs. And these cows are pretty. These are grown-up cows. They know what they're doing, and they're pretty chill. Come on, girls. Let's go. Up, up, up. Come on. Come on. Up, up, up. Let's go. There we go. All right, there we go. Now the gang's all back together. So this is actually working out pretty good timing wise, because the yearlings in the back actually are in much need of a bale. And this is actually a second crop bale in here left over. So that'll turn out really, really well timing wise. And then we don't need to spread out too much stuff down here. We want to just keep this really, really nice, because it's where they're going to spend 90% of their time. All right, let's go let those yearlings back where they belong. Ah, they're starting to come. Come on, guys. Boss. Got to start getting some of those girls used to that call. Definitely got a few fence posts we got to fix in this yard, as we found a couple more over the spring. For some reason, this 75 just won't clean up. I don't know why. He definitely has some more hair on him than the other ones do. I mean, he always has. And then you got the not so smart crew in the back. They'll figure it out. Come on, Nora. Come on, girls. Dad took off with the disc, so he'll be kind of doing that for like the next 3 hours. I don't think he really wants to do a lot of cutting in. It's really just to smooth it out, kind of get that top couple inches just to kind of dry out just a little bit. Dad wants me to come up there. He had cleared a tree that had fallen on the side of the field early in spring, but another one had fallen over, which we had disced around originally. He wants me to come shove that one off to the side too. So we'll go do that. Yeah, that looks much better. There definitely was a lot of grass poking up when we came and checked it yesterday, but it looks like it's disking up real nice. That 44 is definitely a nice purchase. That thing runs nice, good shape. We're both kind of glad that we invested the little extra money. I mean, it was a couple $1,000 or a few $1,000 and got that thing painted right away, because it looks sharp. Unfortunately, it can't sit in a building. We're not that fortunate, but maybe someday. All right, now where do I want to shove it? Maybe just that way? See what happens? Yeah, I think so. I think that'll work. I'm not going to have the same situation I ran into the other day, the one I wouldn't tell you about. Wasn't too bad. Definitely went at it a little bit smarter than the one I had issues with the other day. There is one little one right on the corner. I'm just gonna talk to it a little bit, remind it doesn't belong on the field. All right, now we finally can drag this pasture. It'll take me about 45 minutes. I got the 2030, which is the one I like to do it with. Yeah, last year I used the Mahindra. Did not like using the Mahindra. And the reason we're gonna drag the field is we do have a lot of loose hay out here. Now you can obviously look out here and you can see patches of hay, and there's also a lot of manure out here. This is the same thing that I wanted to do to my other pastures. You've seen me last couple springs, I've done the same thing, and it's to break up those manure piles, spread them out, kind of take that distributed manure and distribute it even more, and also to break it up, one, so it decomposes a little bit quicker, spreads out any seeds a little bit better, and then areas, you know, like here, back there, where it's a little bit thicker hay, it loosens that up and gets a little bit of air in there, and it seems like then the grass that's underneath, if it's not dead yet, will just kind of start coming a little quicker. So we don't need to really dig in with this thing. We just need to kind of scratch the surface. And it's nice that we got a little bit of rain, so we should scratch in pretty decent. Let's get rolling because we still got to move cows yet. So you can see how this stuff's starting to break stuff up and spread things out, and sometimes it gets a little bit plugged up, but then you get into other areas, it kind of rolls out. It's actually really nice to do this after you do have some moisture, because your hay that's still laying here, like this stuff, will have a little bit of moisture, and then it doesn't want to plug up in there as much. It'll break up and roll out of there. But it's cow pies like that bugs and hopefully dung beetles and all that stuff, they've done their thing, but we want to help them out, not so much for the beetles, but for us. We want to spread things out. We want to get that grass to grow a little bit faster. So that's why we're going to break this up. I got about 2/3 of the field to do yet. Let's finish her up. All right, so this thing dragged up pretty darn nice. I mean, obviously it looks like, oh, this looks like when the cows were still out here, because everything is now fluffed up. And basically that's kind of what we want. We want to tear up spots like this, kind of spread it out a little bit. Some of that thicker stuff, we want to get some air in there. So now this isn't going to get touched until the cows make their way around. Normally we'll skip them across to the back, and then this ends up being their last chunk. All right, let's rotate these cows, and it looks like my battery is running low. All right, well, we got temp line here and we've got permanent fence here. So we're gonna split the difference. We're gonna find out what this looks like. This is gonna be a long, skinny run, but I do think I'm gonna leave that one still, and I'm gonna take this one down so that they can go in and maybe mull around in there. Let's run this line out. These guys, definitely, they'll take any fresh grass they can get, so let's be honest. All right, we got our temp up. Everybody's right here. Now the trick is, again, is I'm gonna walk the reel out to about where Goggle Gergs is, drop it, and the hope is everybody gets around this hairpin. It takes a couple rounds, a couple times of doing this, but they get the idea. The mamas, they know exactly what's going on. Photo, you want fresh grass? Factor, want fresh grass? He's like, just get the hell out of my way. Just want grass and ladies. That's all he wants. All right, buddy. Buddy, you working today? You were working yesterday. All right, here we go. Oh, they're doing really well. Doing really well. Oh, beautiful. Good move, guys. And you can see those calves. I don't know if you can see the temp line there. It's right in their face. That was one of the best moves this early in a long time. That was a really good job. Almost proud of them, except for the ones that got out this morning and I had to put them back. So, all right, we're gonna take this temp line down and they can still come back into here and then we'll take care of this later. Hey, good morning. All right, I am up and rolling. I am heading down to the shop, walking down to the shop. Basically to grab the 42. Dad, as we started our morning conversations, Dad said the 42 needed fuel. So I'm gonna walk down there, plus the four-wheeler's down there. So it doesn't make sense for me to drive my truck down there. I can handle the quarter-mile walk. It's not a big deal. Dad's got enough seed to get started, so we're gonna get up there and just get him started, make sure the depths are okay. We just checked to make sure all the oats are actually coming out, which it is. So get him started. We'll head to the farm and grab the wagon and come back and fill them up. Dad is off and rolling again. He was able to get just a little over a first lap. There's this little bump out right here, so he was able to circle around in there. He was almost out. One spout was empty. So not a huge deal, but he is plumb full. So we've got about an hour. Well, time's up. I think we're gonna head up there and check on him. The more I think about it, I probably should have set it for like an hour and a half, but that's all right. Gauge it for next time. Dad's got plenty of seed. I could have set that timer for 2 hours. But we'll be back up in an hour to pick them up. But he's got all of his straights, he's got all of his rounds done, and now he's on straights. I think he's got, what, 5 or 6 straights done. All right, we're back out. We're gonna fill the grain drill back up again. Looks like it's feeding time then. I did just let out that AL53 that was in here, that was in our first AI group. It did look like there was a little bit of chinning going on. I think she did a jump. Somebody tried to jump her, I think. So I said, screw it. I'm gonna let her out. Thankfully, she cooperated very well. And Factor will determine whether or not she needs some service. So yeah, I'm gonna do a little feeding. I just got to get a bale, and then I think I got to rototill my garden once through again. So between those two things, now I finally got that rototill decent. I just have to rake it out and stuff like that, or Bethany can rake it out, one of the two. All right, I'm gonna grab a bale for these guys. I got about 30 minutes, so I'm gonna grab a bale for these yearlings, and that's about all I need to do. That requires machinery. Other than that, they do need some grain, but that'll be pretty easy. I'll do that when I get back. Well, we made it back up here. we're hooked up. I'm gonna check the boxes. I think we're just gonna end up topping off, because I'm sure at minimum, if we filled it up, he'd have more than enough to finish. I mean, he still probably has about 6 acres to go, 8 acres to go, but if he fills up, I think he'll finish. I'm pretty sure. All right, based on where we're at on the field and how full Dad is, he's probably still got a third, a hopper left in there. Like, he could probably seed for another 30 minutes. We're gonna let Dad do a couple of down and backs, and then we'll top them off, and then we can take the gravity box back. Well, we got about 99.8% of the oats. There's maybe a 5-gallon bucket left in there, just hanging up in the corners, you know. Sometimes in the gravity boxes, they don't like to slide down. Looks like everything is still rolling. Gravity box and auger is set in transport. So we're gonna run this back to the farm and put her away. Gravity box is cleaned out. Auger is off. And we're gonna go park this guy. Looks like Factor's working today. Unfortunately, I think he's working on somebody that, I think that red 53 that we AI bred, brought her in on natural heat. Yeah, I got her marked down already. That's a bummer, but oh well. As long as she's getting bred early, she is getting bred early though. Well, unfortunately, Dad's got like 3 down and backs, and we're having some hydraulic issues. Has plenty of fluid. We are suspecting that the main pump is getting a little weak. All right, we're getting there. We're getting there. I still have to do some laundry tonight. Get ready for the week. Some of us got day jobs, but this has to get done today because it's supposed to rain tomorrow and then rain on Wednesday. But I think we're gonna be okay on oats. So Dad still has a couple of down and backs here, but it's wedging to the south. So we're heading south right now. So on that end, it comes to a point. So it looks like we're gonna be okay. I think the majority of our hydraulic issue, I think that little paddle, so I don't know if anybody's familiar with the John Deere remotes where you plug the hydraulics into, to lock them in and to like open it up, there's usually a little paddle that you open and close. Well, for some reason, the one that pushes it down, which wasn't operable, was like kind of half closed, sort of, or 3/4 closed. And I don't know if Dad just didn't notice that or what, but we put the oil in, I opened that up, and Dad had to work it through a couple times. Maybe it got a little bit of air in the line or something. I don't know. But it seems to be working okay. That's all that matters. It's only got to work decent for another 15 minutes. That's a wrap. 2026 planting finally done. Better late than never. Now that's a big guy. These we don't mess around with too much. All right, we are back at the shop. Or at least I am. Dad is on his way. He's about 100 yards behind me. But I'm just gonna close up shop here. He's just gonna park the tractor and call her good. But yes, 2026 planting is complete. Next week, we're ready to cut some hay. So I hope you guys liked the video. Please smash that like button on your way out. And if you got any questions, by all means, drop them in the comments. And of course, don't forget to subscribe. Help support us here at Ohrmundt Simmentals. And as always, thanks for coming along.
Never forget what it's like to be in debt. Been stabbed in the back bed, I'll show you what happens. Pass me the mic and I'll show